Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. What's up guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert to do on research. Today, I'm just going to review a few altcoins that were posted. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I don't know. Just going to do what I can do. I'm just going to briefly review Bitcoin, but the video will mostly be on altcoins. The Bitcoin chart is fairly unchanged. We've chilled underneath this overall big trading range that we were trading at for several months from November to February before that nuke below. And since that time, for about a month and a half, 45, 46 days, we have been chopping around overall. We had that big move down from like 97 to like 78 or whatever. Big reversal, and then we've traded below. I still think actually the daily looks pretty good, the 1-day chart on Bitcoin. There's lots of compression, lots of consolidation, prices trading below all of these daily EMAs, but I wouldn't be surprised if like the relative low is in. Of course, we can form a new range, which we probably will, anywhere from this kind of 75 to 90K area. And my logic for that was mostly that there was a large price gap before. Like when you see price do something like this, where chop, big illiquid move up, chop, it usually wants to fill in this region in the middle. And that's kind of what you can see with volume profile here. Was before this, trading here, there was pretty much no price activity between the 70 and 90K regions. And so I think we're going to see that over the next few months. We're going to see price trade, within this overall region. And it's still going to be fairly choppy, but I think that alts probably have some sort of relief. They're already, in that mode right now. I think that continues for the most part as long as Bitcoin is healthy. But, if Bitcoin trades below, goes to that 80K level again, goes into the 70Ks again, obviously we're going to see a lot of altcoin pain in the short term. But, a lot of these are down like 90 something percent. So I think it's probably okay, to start thinking about relative bottoms. Don't know if it's the bottom, so to speak, but you basically have to just survive the chop. My overall idea for Bitcoin, is that if we accept back in within the 89, 90K region, back within the range, things are obviously really good. Until that time, I just think we're just going to be chopping around, not really doing a whole lot, if I'm being honest with you. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. I'll do a video maybe on Bitcoin another time, but I just wanted to review it pretty quickly. Anyways, let's review ETH. ETH is a shitcoin, as we all know. This coin has been quite horrid. The ETH BTC chart is just abysmal. Like, I don't think ETH BTC is really coming back anytime soon. There's just no catalyst for it. I mean, there's a lot of great threads you can read on Twitter. There's just really no reason, in my opinion, to own ETH at this point. It just falls right in the middle between Bitcoin and other speculative altcoins. Bitcoin is its own thing at this point. Digital gold, owned by institutions, great flows overall. Just like it's separated itself from the pack. Everyone's buying it, and then you have like stuff like Solana, which is struggling as well, but you have other speculative shitcoins, and at this point, ETH has just been really, really gross, and there's really no reason to buy it, in my opinion. Just kind of like a mid-curve coin. TA-wise, I think like some relief probably should happen soon, but again, you're just probably going to want to buy Bitcoin overall. Like if you do like ETH, you would probably look at this area first, this region here. This was kind of like the last pause point in the kind of bottom of the bear, or like not in the bottom of the bear, but like kind of like this last pause before like a strong move up back in September of 23. So this is theoretically the support region here, but again, I think it's just better to buy Bitcoin. I mean, if you want to buy something, Bitcoin or ETH, I think you just buy You just buy Bitcoin. Like if this region doesn't hold, then you would start looking for the lows back down below, like literally around like $1,200. But it's just kind of ridiculous that you could have, like, even if you bought anytime in late 22, mid late 2023, all the way then, and like you're pretty much break even. Like I don't know, it's just the underperformance of this coin is just it's just gross. But it's lost pretty much all technical indicators, and there's really no end in sight either. Like you could maybe argue that, like, it's gonna go as Bitcoin goes for the most part, but like just continually underperform. And you haven't seen any shift in the market structure of this either. There's still lower highs and lower lows. So, I mean, what you might need is, like, you might need to see like some sort of crazy shakeout and then like a chop period, and then you can see it come back up. And if Bitcoin does like start doing pretty good numbers, then this will obviously start to reverse as well. But I just don't see any world where this really truly outperforms Bitcoin unless something really big changes with the overall narrative and like actual users of Ethereum. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I mean, I sold all my ETH, is what it is. Solana, I think, is at a relatively good spot. Solana, I know they had some supply stuff with like some unlocks overall. People bought OTC from like the FTX estate. I think the relative bottom looks pretty good, anywhere from like $100 to 120. Like Solana will certainly come back. Like it's still like the area where people like to gamble. It'll need some sort of spark for the trenches to really be revived. Like I don't see it coming back like the way it was back in November or whatever, December time period, for a while. But I think that we're just gonna see some more chop, have it farm some sort of bottom, and then we can see it start to come back up again. But on-chain activity obviously quite muted for the most part right now. But similar to ETH, I think that Bitcoin probably still outperforms Solana in the short to midterm. Don't know, or I mean, certainly long term it will too. But like, I just don't know when Solana is going to have another big run up. Like, it's still obviously a great ecosystem. There's still a lot of users. There's still a lot of activity there. So, definitely don't think like Solana is quote unquote dead by any means. But we just see it, chop around more. I don't view it as like a great active trade. Like if you want to like just go ahead and like DCA in, or just kind of just, I don't know, like just, buy anywhere from like 120 to like 100, all the way down to like 90, then it's probably a good buy. But it's like a pretty slow trade. You would just, buy it and hold it for a while. Doge, pretty ugly overall. It's coming back down to this kind of consolidation area that we saw. And you can see on volume profile too, like we're now entering like a pretty strong like area that people like to trade at in general, kind of this 17 cent to 12 cent region. But I don't see this one really having a great run for a little bit. It's going to need to go through this period where it just does something like this, where it just chops around. I don't think it's going to be like this long consolidation period for pretty much years on end, almost 2 years on end, where it just chops around from that. What was it, like 5 cent to 10 cent region? But it's going to need something like this probably, where it chops around for a while, like it did in 23 and 24. Still think it's going to like have a strong run eventually, but I don't know what that really looks like overall. Or when. Not really a good active trade either. CPOOL. CPOOL is a good RWA coin. RWA is obviously, there's still a strong narrative for this year, in my opinion. And it looks like it's forming a range. I think that you're going to see something like this, where price just chops between this 9 cent and 17 cent area. And, we're kind of in this type of setup here. I think we'll see up and down deviations, but it's pretty interesting to see that this this range was already formed about a month ago. So we're about a month in. And wouldn't be surprised to see maybe another move up to like 18, 20 cents and then come back down within the range. But overall, still like a good coin. Still wouldn't be surprised to see it go decently higher. It's an older coin too, so the overall tokenomics are pretty strong on this one, in my opinion, as well. Um, Hype is a good coin. This is not the Hyperliquid chart on Hyperliquid, obviously, but still think it's a good coin. Obviously, it's very strong. It's one of the best crypto projects. Period. You know, it's crack team, good tokenomics, good distribution, no overhead supply coming on the market from insiders. Wouldn't be surprised to see it pull back a little bit though. It's like this 14 cent area, 13 to 14, not 4 cent, $14 to $15 area, 14 to 13. I'm sorry, and but still, it's still one of the best coins. If you are buying on fundamentals, if you are buying on coins that you like, you know, teams, and you like real revenue, and you like, you know, these things that are more relevant in serious projects, then Hype should check all the boxes, in my opinion. It's just a good coin. I don't really have a bag. I have a tiny bag, but it's just like, I don't know, just small. But wouldn't mind grabbing some more, like lower for sure. INA is or was a great coin before, but I just don't see any reason to buy it as of right now. It's not really a good long, not really a good short. Um, would expect it to go kind of below. You know, it did lose this point of control over the entire trading range, around 37 cents. But I don't see any reason to really buy this thing until like you get down here. Like this 25, 24 cent area probably is the next area that you would be interested in. And obviously if like risk on kind of environment comes back, you know, it could be good, but until that time, I don't really see a reason to buy this coin, if I'm being honest with you. Wouldn't short it at this time either, personally, but yeah, would wait. Fartcoin has been one of the strongest coins. Disclaimer, I do have a bag of this overall. I think it's a good one. You know, I think it's the meme of the cycle personally. Like, it's shown to be one of the strongest coins overall. Like, you know, 20 cents to like near $1, 5x on a extremely liquid coin. Pretty much anyone could get in with most size that you wanted, you know, for the most part. And dollar is an area that's maybe a potential stopping point. If I were to buy, I would look for the 68 cents area. And there's a lot of confluence there with some other levels. If you fib it out, and take out the volume profile. If you fib it out, this 68 cents area would be pretty good to grab an entry, in my opinion. 382 fib. 200 EMA would be close up to it too. So, you know, like this would be my area to buy, I think, for Fartcoin. Probably wouldn't chase it as of right now. I would either buy it like this, or I'd buy it like here, or, you know, 60 cents too. Kind of where I would like to, you know, consider adding or whatever. I added Grass. I think this is a good coin. It's had some crazy moves. You know, it has actual quote unquote real revenue, which is it's kind of surprising for crypto projects. But I think it's a good slower trade if you were to buy spot on this, something like that. Spot would be pretty good. I still think the chart looks pretty interesting, and you could just, you know, grab an entry anywhere from like the $1.50 area to around here. But yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable coin, decent fundamentals, decent narrative as well with AI. So SDQ, I think this coin is an interesting one. I was looking at a lot of these Bybit coins because some of them were having some crazy pumps, and this one has had a really big move overall. You know, back in February at the lows, 7 cents. I'm sorry, 4 cents. Moved all the way up to near 19 cents. Really strong move. I don't know how liquid it is, but you see this type of move and something's usually happening. Probably in a good way. It's an interesting looking coin, but it's a bit hard to hold. I don't know if I would hold it, on perps. Buying spot, in this kind of area would be pretty interesting though. But would be careful as well. This kind of area is a resistance area. Kind of this entire region around 17, 18 cents. So, but when you see a move like this, something's usually going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually breaks higher, if I'm being honest with you. But obviously be careful as well, because these are very volatile in the short term as well. Like you could see these big spikes all the way down, like 16 to 25% down. So definitely be cautious when trading these ones actively. IOTA, I think, is an interesting coin at a these older coins actually held up stronger than a lot of the newer coins in a lot of ways. HBAR, IOTA, VeChain, a lot of these old coins really were pretty good in December. And this one kind of, returned all the way back down to the support area. But again, I think this is also a fairly reasonable area to start, considering just looking at the coin. You don't necessarily have to buy. Like what you want to see, like for some sort of bottom, would be something like this, where you like see it chop around for a bit. Similar to this price action back in August to October. And then, you can buy it on the way up is probably a safer strategy. POPCAT, I was really interested in this one. It is pulling back now. But it is within the same trading range for the last, it looks like, several months now. And obviously it had a pretty good move for the last few days, pulling back now. Don't know if that's like going to continue or not, but overall I still think it looks pretty reasonable. And this coin has fallen so much relative to how it was at the highs that again, it's down 90 something percent or whatever it was top to bottom. It's probably not a bad area. Like I traded it yesterday. But I wouldn't be. I would like to get a better entry personally. Near is a coin that also struggled. I thought it found a bottom previously, but I was just horrifically wrong back in February. Market pulled back even farther. The area that I would look at for Near, probably this region here. We're kind of in it now. It's a pretty wide range though, from this like 280 to like 150. You could even go a little bit lower too, maybe like this. Wouldn't be surprised if we see price chop around a little bit more. It probably finds a bottom anywhere from like, I'd say maybe like the low ones to like low to mid ones is probably where it probably finds a bottom. It's got a great narrative overall. Like Near is great narrative with like AI, but they just need to have more adoption on their chain, in my opinion. I mean, that's every chain obviously, but like really lean into the AI stuff and attract some of the top AI projects, and I think it could be pretty good. BONK, I have a small bag of this one. Think it's pretty decent overall. It's going to go as Bitcoin goes. And this is not probably the best area to buy, but if you're looking at lower time frames, some sort of spike down, and you can also fib it out too. You can fib it out, something like buying around this 0.38 area or the 0.5 would probably be pretty decent in my opinion. Wouldn't buy here personally, but I think a little lower could be good. There's a lot of EMAs. There's probably some SR levels. I didn't draw them out. CRV, I think this is a good coin. I think there's strong narratives with it. I think that it looks like a strong chart. And I think, if you zoom out heavily, like this one got freaking obliterated before. It's at what, 61 cents now, all-time highs. Back in, you know, $6. It's pretty good, I think. Lots of upside potential, and I know DeFi is starting to make a comeback as well. So definitely looking at coins like this. IOZ, I thought that this coin would have held up here, but it appears not. And it appears this is the next overall area. And you can see volume profile here too. Think that you're going to need to see something like this price action like you saw in late 23. Don't expect this to V-shape up personally, but yeah, looks interesting, but I think you need to just chop around. I'm gonna add a few other coins as I'm just checking the thread now. PAAL. And wait, is this is too new of a chart. PAAL, Rose, and someone posted Luna. Really? Fuck. All right, fucking fine. Luna. And XNO, what is that coin? Okay. All right, I will close it out with these coins here. PAAL, I think, looks pretty reasonable. It's going to go like this. And then up, I think. But it looks pretty reasonable, honestly. I think it's still going to continue chopping, though, within this range. So, you know, I wouldn't buy here. But, like, I think relative bottom looks fairly in. Yeah, we'll just let it chop. Rose, this has been a slow grind down overall. You know, I thought that this would hold within the same range, but unfortunately it looks like it didn't. Because it obviously fell far below, and it fell far below all-time lows back in 2020. So I don't know. It looks pretty rough. I think you'd want to like see it make some sort of move up like this before buying personally. Luna. I don't know what to say. If you're buying this chart, then seek help immediately. Yeah, I mean, don't know what to say. I mean, you're going to see some random spikes probably, just like fuck shorters up, but yeah, I don't know. I would never buy this, obviously, clearly. XNO, I'm not sure what this coin is, but the chart looks pretty ugly. I think you can maybe just use this 60 cents region as an area to look at. I would probably look here. But this is not really a coin to buy, in my opinion. It's these coins are actually like interesting if you are patient. You can just buy it actually and just honestly just hold for a while. But you have to set your sells like way ahead of time because they could just spike at any second, like you see this type of price action here. Or, you know, these like very quick moves, like where it's like a liquid spike up and then goes right back down. So like if you were to like, I don't know, TWAP into this coin and it's going to mostly just do this for the most part and then like quick spike up and then come back down. I do know people that have these types of strategies though, where they just buy these liquid coins wait for them to just spike up and then, but again, it's these are hard coins to really trade actively. Anyways, this is all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I'll probably be doing more coin reviews like this in the future. But stay safe out there. Cheers.